Merry Christmas! This week I thought it would be fun to do a mantle decorating series. So we're gonna do 4 different fireplace looks and we're gonna base them around one common foundation. So let's get started with video number 1 where we're breaking down the base. Here is what's happening over here. We've got things that are happening on the hearth and then we've got things that are happening on the mantle beam. Let's break down the hearth. First, I used an old wooden crate that I found at a flea market. I layered in some birch logs that I found on Etsy. You may have them in your backyard, but I don't. I live in the deep south, so no pretty white birch logs here, but thank goodness for Etsy. And then next, I just threw in one of our throw blankets and one of our throw pillows that has kind of a Christmas theme. Here's why I love this combo. The textural contrast. I love using hard things with, soft things. So the pairing of that just makes me really, I want to eat it. I love it. So, you know, and this doesn't have to be a pillow. I used a pillow and a throw, but this could be a bunch of garland and a whole bunch more garland, just kind of stuffed in there, maybe draping over the edge a little bit. This could be a gift box that you wrap in wool fabric or flannel fabric and put a cute little bow on top. It could be a house plant that isn't technically soft, but the movement of it would be soft in contrast with the birch logs. This kind of softens our firebox, and we don't use our fireplace a lot because, like I said, we live in Sweet Home, Alabama. It is 80 degrees in late November right now, so this works for us. It may not work for everyone, but if you do live in a climate where you don't burn wood a lot and you just want something fun and festive in front of your firebox, this might do the trick. Okay, next up is what's going on the mantle beam. And you may have a mantle shelf, but basically I'm talking about this area above the mantle facade. So I worked on mine in 3 different layers. I did the stuff on the mantle beam first, then I put up my garland, and then I hung the stockings with care. On the mantle shelf, I did candles, ornaments, glass, and books. Last but not least, I nestle in some Christmas balls just to soften some of the gaps. I did not go buy 25 candles all at once. I have collected these candles over like a 3-year period, and I get them when they're on sale. I look for them at dollar stores and discount stores. So always keep your eyes peeled, I think, for bright white candles if you want to achieve this look. You can't go wrong with a bright white candle. And the house smells great. Same goes for the glass containers. You don't have to go out and buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 glass containers. You might have some glass containers and you're just missing a few, and you just need to keep your eyes peeled at garage sales or secondhand stores or discount stores for glass containers. The glass containers don't have to be candle. This is a secret between me and you and your mantle. The glass containers don't have to be candle holders. Yes, you can have freedom. You can use a little kitchen canister that you took the lid off of and shoved in your pantry for the season. You can use a glass ball jar with no candle in it. I've got no candle in that glass ball jar, y'all. So just, the point is, just have fun. Use what you have if that works better than having to go out to the store, because nobody wants to go to the store right now. And the reason I love the glass not only is because I'm not afraid to burn the candles that are in the glass containers, but it just gives that extra little reflective quality and makes, you know, it doesn't just look like a wall of wax. Vase filler can be expensive, so I like to just pop in some chestnuts or pecans, anything that kind of acts as another wood, but doesn't cost a lot, and I can get it at the grocery store. As for how the candles are laid out up here, positioned, I put my bigger candles towards the back of the mantle and my little ones up towards the front. And another tip, I like to kind of group them in odd numbers. So like these 3 are buddies and these three are buddies, and then they have their little kids up here at the front of the mantle, just to, again, kind of soften those gaps. I also layered in some aged brass candlestick holders. I got those at TJ Maxx, but you could probably find those at a lot of flea markets and antique stores too, because everybody is throwing them out. And I'm like, give me the brass candlesticks. I love the way they bring in a little bit of gold, but it's not in your face, shiny gold. And it just gives a different profile to the look of the other chunky candles that are on the mantle. I also used a couple of other elements to break up some of the candles. I used mercury glass, and these are actually coasters that I had. So think outside the box in terms of breaking up the candles, and as long as you match your color palette, you should be good to go. And this is another little tippity-doo-dah that I love. I shave, no, not shave, what's that when you peel a carrot? I peel my candles, my candle sticks. So they have this cool pattern, kind of cool texture that makes them look kind of antique. So you could use a knife, or you could use literally like a carrot or a potato peeler and just get this cool texture that is a little bit more fun than just a slick, plain old candlestick. The books that I have stacked on each side, also from a flea market, super cheap. It's actually a collection of encyclopedias. And I think I paid like $20, which is insane to me, because they're beautiful. They're so pretty. And although I don't have their spines showing, I could have, because the spines are just as pretty. But for this, I just wanted the pages to show, so you can decide with your old books whether you want the spines or the pages. And here's a little secret. You don't have to stack them all nice and neat with the edges all butted up against each other, all stacked and perfect. You can turn them a little bit and create a little bit of dimension by having your books not so perfectly straight. I'm going to call the pattern that all of these beautiful candles and glass and ornaments and books are stacked in the inverted fang, or the upside down fang pattern. Because basically, if you look at it, you'll see it's kind of a fang, and then you've got a row of front teeth, and then you've got another fang on the other side. So that's just kind of one way to easily lay out your candles and ornaments and books to create this pattern. Okay, the garland, this step is a little bit trickier, not just because it has math, but just because it's kind of hard to wrangle that stuff sometimes. So here's my tip about that. Get the soft one. You know, you go to the store and you grab the end of it, and if it shakes like a, you know, like that, whatever that is, that's a good garland. If it's stiff and the whole thing moves like that, what's something that moves like that? Oh, like moves like a piece of yarn. You know, you want it to jiggle. So you don't want to jiggle, but you want your garland to jiggle. So go with a soft, and it's easier to put up. It's not as frustrating because it doesn't give you those little nasty evergreen splinters. You know what I'm talking about. As far as the math, this is how I do it. I measure this leg, and this leg. Mine was like 4 feet, 7 feet, and 4 feet. If I add that up, carry the 6, subtract the 7, that was 15. So I knew that I needed more than 15 because I wanted a little swag action. So the garlands, these garlands, came in 6-foot lengths. 2 of them would only get me to 12. So I knew I needed a third one if I wanted not only just to cover it, but to get a little extra swaggage on it. As for hanging it, I would start with this piece and then do that piece, and then grab your third piece in the center and use a nail if you have an old beam and you don't care about driving nails into it, or they make those little handy dandy command adhesive hooks. But first get this piece where you want it, then get that piece where you want it, then take your third piece right in the middle and tack it up there, and then wire with green floral wire, wire these babies together. That's what I did, and it seemed to work pretty good. I used good language the whole time, so, you know, good shape. Once you get that third strand of garland up, you're going to have a kind of a center here that looks a little bit like it needs something. So what I like to do is cut apart faux evergreen sprigs. You know, they come on a branch. There's like usually a bunch of branches with these guys that you can just pull off, or you could just literally cut the branches apart. And I stuff them just in the center part. You know, maybe one here. This is one, this is one, this is one. I've got them going all the way just to kind of fill this out and create a true center. Another little tip is the length that this hangs. I have discovered that it's a 3/4. It's like a 3/4 sleeve. You don't want to have this bad boy end at the halfway point. Trust me. I did it and it didn't look right. It didn't look right at all. So, and I think if it were shorter, it wouldn't look right either. So, 3/4 of the way down seems to be the good length. Last but not least, the stockings. And I love me some stockings. There's some really good stockings out right now, y'all. Like really good. This stocking with this aged brass, letter K, is made out of old Army military fabric. I love it. This one came from Michael's and it has this cute little fur edge. I love a plaid and I love a pom-pom. And this guy came from an online shop that no longer sells them, but how cute is this with the vintage stripes and the twine and the little jingle bells. So that, all those things makes up our foundation, our base. Over the next 4 days, I'm going to take you through 4 different focal points, focal elements, statement pieces, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to show you 4 ways to decorate and embellish this evergreen garland.